Move right. Car 5 pixels to the right of its current position. Add the following code after your definition of car.prototype.draw. This.carelimit.css. Position absolute. Left this.x. Top this.y. Body.append this.carelimit. Car.prototype. Move right. Equals function. This. X. Equals 5. This.carelimit.css. Left this. X. Top this. Y. We save the moveRight method in car.prototype to share it with all objects created by the car constructor. With this.x equals 5 we add 5 to the car's x value, which moves the car 5 pixels to the right. Then we use the CSS method on this.carelimit to update the car's position in the browser. Try the moveRight method in the browser console. First, refresh cars2.html, and then open the console and enter these lines. Tesla.moveRight. 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 Each time you enter Tesla.moveRight, the top car should move 5 pixels to the right. You could use this method in a racing game to show the car moving down the racetrack. Try it out. Try moving Nissan to the right. How many times do you need to call moveRight on Nissan to make it line up with Tesla? Use set interval and moveRight to animate Nissan so that it drives across the browser window. Any direction. These methods are basically the same as moveRight. So we'll write them all at once. Add the following methods to cars2.html just after the code for moveRight. Car.prototype.moveRight equals function. This.x equals 5. This.carelimit.css. Left this.x, top this.y. Car.prototype. Move left. Equals function. This. X. Equals 5. This.carelimit.css. Left this. X. Top this. Y. Car.prototype. Move up. Equals function. This. Y. Equals 5. This.carelimit.css. Left this. X. Top this. Y. Car.prototype. Move down. Equals function. This. Y. Equals 5. This.carelimit.css. Left this. X. Top this. Y. Each of these methods moves the car by 5 pixels in the specified direction by adding or subtracting 5 from each car's x or y value. In this chapter, you learned the basics of object-oriented programming in JavaScript, including how to create constructors to build new objects and how to modify the prototype property of those constructors to share methods between objects. In object-oriented programs, most functions are written as methods. For example, to draw the car, we call the draw method on the car, and to move the car to the right, we call the moveRight method. Constructors and prototypes are JavaScript's built-in way of letting you create objects that share the same set of methods, but there are many ways to write object-oriented JavaScript. For more on object-oriented JavaScript, see Nicholas C. Zakis, The Principles of Object-Oriented JavaScript, No Starch Press, 2014. Writing JavaScript in an object-oriented way can help you structure your code. Having well-structured code means that when you come back to it later to make changes, It should be easier to figure out how your program works if you don't remember. This is particularly important with bigger programs or when you start to work with other programmers who may need to access your code. For example, in the final project in this book, we'll build a snake game that requires quite a bit of code. And we'll use objects and methods to organize our game and handle a lot of the important functionality. In the next chapter, we'll go over how to draw and animate lines and shapes on a web page using the canvas element. Try these challenges to practice working with objects and prototypes. 1. Drawing in the car constructor. Add a call to the draw method from inside the car constructor so that car objects automatically appear in the browser as soon as you create them. 2. Adding a speed property. Modify the car constructor to add a new speed property with a value of 5 to the constructed objects. Then use this property instead of the value 5 inside the movement methods. Now try out different values for speed to make the cars move faster or slower. 3. Racing cars. Modify the move left, move right, move up, and move down methods so they take a single distance argument, the number of pixels to move, instead of always moving 5 pixels. For example, to move the Nissan car 10 pixels to the right, you would call Nissan.moveRight10. Now, use setInterval to move the two cars Nissan and Tesla to the right every 30 milliseconds by a different random distance between 0 and 5. You should see the two cars animate across the screen, jumping along at varying speeds. Can you guess which car will make it to the edge of the window first? JavaScript isn't all about playing with text and numbers. You can also use JavaScript to draw pictures with the HTML canvas element, which you can think of as a blank canvas or sheet of paper. You can draw almost anything that you want on this canvas, such as lines, shapes, and text. The only limit is your imagination. In this chapter, you will learn the basics of drawing on the canvas. In the following chapters, we'll build on our knowledge to create a canvas-based JavaScript game. Canvas. Document.getElementViewed Canvas. Chapter 9. The getElementViewed method returns a DOM object representing the element with the supplied ID. This object is assigned to the canvas variable with the code var canvas equals document.getElementViewed Canvas. Canvas. That includes all the methods and properties for drawing on a canvas. To get this object, we call getContextOnCanvas and pass it the string 2D as an argument. This argument says that we want to draw a two-dimensional image on our canvas. We save this drawing context object in the variable ctx using the code var ctx equals canvas.getContext2D. FillRect. Drawing context. The FillRect method takes 4 arguments. In order, these are the x and y coordinates of the top left corner of the rectangle 0, 0, and the width and height of the rectangle 10, 10. In this case, we're saying, draw a 10 pixel by 10 pixel rectangle at coordinates 0, 0, which are at the top left corner of the canvas. When you run this code, you should see a small black square on your screen, as shown in figure 13:1. Figure 13:1. Our first canvas drawing. Now that you know how to draw squares and rectangles on the canvas, try drawing this little robot using the FillRect method. Hint: you will need to draw 6 separate rectangles. I made the head using a 50 pixel by 50 pixel rectangle. The neck, arms, and legs are all 10 pixels wide. By default, when you call FillRect, JavaScript draws a black rectangle. To use a different color, you can change the fill style property of the drawing context. When you set fill style to a new color, everything you draw will be drawn in that color until you change fill style again. The easiest way to set a color for fill style is to give it the name of the color as a string. For example, var canvas equals document dot get element viewed canvas var ctx equals canvas dot get context 2d ctx dot fill style equals red ctx dot fill rect 0 0 100 100. And we tell the drawing context that everything we draw from now on should be colored red. Running this code should draw a bright red square on the screen, as shown in figure 13-3. Figure 13-3. A red square. Note: JavaScript understands more than 100 color names, including green, blue, orange, red, yellow, purple, white, black, pink, turquoise, violet, sky blue, pale green, lime, fuchsia, deep pink, cyan, and chocolate. Why? You'll find a full list on the CSS Tricks website at p//tricks.com/snippets/css/named colors and hex equivalents/. Between them, you should end up with something like this. Although I'm sure you can find some more interesting colors than red, green, and blue. As we've seen, the FillRect method draws a filled-in rectangle. That's fine if that's what you want, but sometimes you might want to draw just the outline.